Hey everybody, it's me, Steve Schnee, the CD Junkie, and you are watching Reappraising the Cars. Now, before I talk about today's subject, which is the Cars album Door to Door, I want to mention this fabulous new book by author Bill Janovitz. This is an album called Let the Stories Be Told. It is the ultimate biography of the Cars. This has input from the three surviving members, Greg Hawkes, David Robinson, and Elliot Easton, plus other people that have been involved with the band. It is truly incredible. It reveals so much about the band. You're going to learn so much about this group, yet when you listen to the records, the mystery survives. I mean, if you want to know the ins and outs of the band, this book definitely covers it, and it's just an incredible read. And there's not a lot of pictures, but there are a lot of words, and that's what's really important. So anyway, let's just move forward with this episode of Reappraising the Cars when I talk about the album Door to Door.
Well, I stood beside the rain today, and I twisted out my shirt. And she's a coolie, you could say, when she gets down in the dirt. She puffs a pillow up so high.
Hey everybody, me, Steve Schnee, the CD Junkie. Welcome to Reappraising the Cars. This is just be a sporadic series where I will discuss, each episode will just be discussing one Cars album, or maybe even a solo album if I feel like talking about that. The album I'm going to focus on today is probably the one that people talk about the least, the one that people say that they like the least. This is actually my third favorite Cars album after Candy-O and the debut. Door to Door came out in 1987. I have no idea why it is so disliked. It is really a truly incredible album, and I'm going to tell you why. But first, let me tell you that the only way you can find it now, I think, in print might be in the Cars, the Electra Years box set. It isn't part of the remaster campaign that started a long time ago on Rhino. But then the last couple of years, or actually, I guess 5-10 years ago, you saw Candy-O and Panorama and Shake It Up and Heartbeat City, and then of course there's the reunion album, and then there's various compilations. My two favorites are this 2 CD one with a bunch of unreleased stuff, and probably the best single disc one you're going to get at this moment is Moving in Stereo, the best of the Cars. This is a great career overview, and you're going to get all your favorites on that. So let's talk about the Electra Years box set, which includes Door to Door. This came out before those remasters, and if you just want the albums without any bonus tracks, this is perfect. This covers the Electra Years, obviously, starting with the self-titled album and ending with Door to Door. So let's talk about Door to Door. Let me get right down to the nitty-gritty here. I love this album. I honestly really do. And so many people, even to this day, I'll make a comment about it and people will just, but I think what happens here is I think people read reviews and they base their opinions on reviews, or they listened to it once when it came out and it wasn't what they expected, which was the follow-up to Heartbeat City, because it is logically the follow-up because this is the next album, but the Cars never did the same album twice. And what Door to Door is, there's a cover of it there. There's the back cover there. Door to Door sounds like the slickness of Heartbeat City with the energy of the first album. And in fact, the album was pretty much made up of songs that they never really finished at the time or never made an album. So you're going to get something like Leave or Stay, which I think was actually scheduled for the first album, but it only got to demo form and never went past there. Well, they pulled songs like that from throughout their career and probably a few new songs, and they recorded a new album using that material. So it has that youthful energy, even though they were, kind of jaded, I think, and they were sort of, on the verge of breaking up towards the end, 87. And, tensions within the band and stuff, but they were pulling these great songs that they had left on the cutting room floor, and they were giving them new life. And this album, seriously, it rocks, but also has a lot of layers. So let's talk about each of the songs here. It starts with Leave or Stay, and it's this really quirky, hear the word quirky a lot because that's what Rick Ocasek was. Now, this is a Rick Ocasek. I read it and hear it so many different ways. I'm going to say Rick Ocasek because I used to say Ocasek, and then somebody corrected me back and forth for like the last 30 years. So Rick Ocasek, of course, guitar vocals, Benjamin Orr, bass vocals, Greg Hawkes on keyboards, David Robinson on drums, and of course Elliot Easton on guitar. And they were all present and accounted for, and they're all MVPs on this album. Rick Ocasek produced the album. Leave or Stay, it's this quirky, really tough. I mean, it gets really heavy. Probably, I mean, it's not grunge or hard rock or whatever, but it gets pretty heavy compared to what the Cars had been doing with especially Heartbeat City. That cool little chorus doesn't really come until about 2/3 of the way through the song, but it's really nice. It's got a really nice feel to it, really heavy, really fun, and it does sound like it could have gone on the first album.
Makes no difference either way.
The next song is You Are the Girl, which is one of their greatest fucking singles. It is so amazing. It is pop. If you're familiar with the song Tonight She Comes, which was their new song that was on the greatest hits that came out after Heartbeat City, You Are the Girl is like the sister song. It's like those songs both came from the same place, both spiritually and sonically. They're joyous and fun and bubbly and melodic and they're filled with great hooks. See, this is where like Elliot Easton and Greg Hawkes were so important, is they had these little hooks on their respective instruments. So Rick would write the melodic hooks that are voices. Then they'd layer these voices and they'd come up with more little hooks there. But then Greg Hawkes and Elliot Easton would be playing their hooks. And that's what made the Cars work. So much was going on at the same time that, sometimes it took you 2, 3, 4, 5 listens to get into a song, to understand everything that was happening. You Are the Girl. It's incredible. I'd say it's top 5 singles for me. It is so amazing. Just listen for yourself.
You are the girl that keeps me up at night. You are the girl that makes me feel alright. You are the girl. Oh, you give me a twirl. You are the girl. You are the girl in my dreams.
Next song is Double Trouble. I think it's mediocre. I think it's really good, but that's it. It's a standard, really good Cars song. This is not a single. This is not a song that really should have got played on the radio. It's an album track, and you put it on, and it probably sounded great live, but it doesn't stand out like a lot of the other tracks on the album or a lot of the other tracks on other albums. It's just a really good Cars track, and that's probably all I have to say for it. Let's see what you have to say.
You get in trouble, and it keeps you down. No trouble. You get in trouble when you come to town. No trouble. Oh yeah.
Now up comes Fine Line. This is a ballad. In fact, there's a couple ballads on the album, and Rick handles them. It doesn't have Ben sing them, but Ben sings. I think he sings more on this album than he sang on the prior couple albums. And Ben, of course, everybody knows he's got a great voice. And I love the fact that on all the Cars records, they utilized him as a backing vocalist. So when you would hear Rick sing lead and you'd hear these backing vocalists, it wasn't just Rick double tracking. It was Ben's unique character and voice. It was just so amazing. But the song here is Fine Line, and it's a nice ballad. It's, it's not I'm Not the One. It's not Drive, anything like that, but it's a nice, moody track. Again, this is a track that Greg Hawkes really stands out. Greg Hawkes was really... I don't know if anyone out there is familiar with Split Enz, but Split Enz, Eddie Rayner is a keyboard player, and he's like the architect of their sound. That's kind of what Greg Hawkes was to the Cars. He was this musician who just understood, what the emotional layers of music and what music was supposed to do, how it made him feel, and then how he wanted to make his music feel. And he really did that with Rick's songs. And they're all MVPs, but in this song, Greg Hawkes is an MVP player. So why don't you check it out?
There's a fine line between us, such a fine, fine line. There's a fine line between us, and it's always on my mind.
Everything You Say is a fun track. It's really fun. Great hooky. Could it have been a single? Maybe. I mean, I think that this is, could have been a single maybe for the first album, or it could have been put out by the first album. But, the band got a little bit more sophisticated as the albums went on. So, but this one is a great, fun track. Got a lot of energy, and it's really fun to listen to. So I want you to listen to a little bit of it right now.
Everything you say always leaves me full of shame. Everything you say, when it crosses up my mind, everything you say.
Now, the next song is Ta Ta Weo Weo, and this is a song I believe that was written for or around the time of the first album and wasn't used, and it's another fun track. Thing about the Cars is a lot of their songs were really sophisticated and multi-layered, and some of them were just fun, and some of them were fun and multi-layered, and that's a lot of the songs on Door to Door are very much like that. They're powerful and they rock, but they are just not throwaways. And so you're going to feel and hear the layers as you play something like this. But Ta Ta Weo Weo, just a song title like that makes you go, okay, yeah, they're having a little bit of fun. So why don't you have a little bit of fun right now?
Well, the joint is still ripping, all faces aglow. The hearts are still stripping, tucked away, away. I feel it coming on, like something merciful. Oh, I feel it coming on.
Next song, I'm not sure if this was a single. It's called Strap Me In. It's got a lot of airplay on KROQ, a radio station in Los Angeles, and it's really a great track. This could have been a single. It could have been on Panorama or Shake It Up, but it's a lot heavier. Like I said, on this Door to Door, it's a lot heavier sonically than, and again, when I say heavier, I'm not talking Iron Maiden, Scorpions, they're not going to rock you like a hurricane or anything like that, but they're going to rock. And it's Heartbeat City meets the first album, turned up to 10.5. So why don't you listen to a little bit of Strap Me In? This could have been a hit, and hopefully if you've heard it, it's one of your favorite Cars tracks.
Better strap me in all night long. Gotta strap me in all night long. Better strap me in all night long. All night long. Well, you took me by the way.
Next track, coming up you. Be Still My Beating Heart. This is a great track sung by Ben. I love this. Remember how I was saying that on Fine Line, Greg was the MVP? Well, here he is again creating this nice, mellow little keyboard line that's almost not noticeable, but it's beautiful enough to draw you in. So after the chorus, he comes up with this, nah, 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 nah. It's just beautiful. It's wonderful. Now, the song was originally called Coming Up You Again, and they demoed it with Rick singing you get it as a bonus track on one of the remasters, and it's missing that because it's just Rick's demo. So this is a case of, everybody used to say that the Cars, Rick tells everybody to play this, and they don't play anything original. It's just whatever Rick tells them. When you listen to something like Coming Up You and you compare it to Rick's demo, and then the way that it ended up on Door to Door, you can just tell that there's so much personality added from the other members to create this little piece of beautiful art. Did I say beautiful? It's beautiful. Not beautiful. Beautiful. Check it out.
It keeps coming up you again. Well, you're never too hard to find. It keeps coming up you again. Taking up all your time.
Wound Up on You, another fine track. This is, I think it's kind of along the same lines as like Fine Line and a couple of the other songs on the album, which are really, really good. But when you go back and listen to it, there's other songs that you pick first, like Coming Up You or You Are the Girl or Strap Me In, things like that. But this is a really, really great track. And let's see what you think about it. The penultimate track is called Go Away. Friggin' amazing. Should have been a single. This album should really be held in higher esteem in the hearts of Cars fans. I'm hoping that just me playing these little snippets and talking about this album and showing you my excitement for this album makes you go back and say, I'm going to give that album another listen. I'm going to give it another chance. So when I'm flipping through the bins at, Boogie Boogie Records, then, oh my gosh, they've got the Cars Door to Door. I'm going to check it out. I want you to do that. That's why I make these videos. Or I want you to go into your collection, reach over and pull it out and say, I don't have to go to Boogie Boogie Records. I got it in my shelf. So I'm going to listen to it now. So, but yeah, it's a great album. Go Away. It's a wonderful track.
Why don't we go? Why don't we go away? Why don't we go? Why don't we go away?
And it ends with the title track, Door to Door. This is probably the punkiest thing that the Cars ever put out. You can just tell by the chord changes, this is probably a very early track, or Rick was drawing on early influences, and it's just a great rockin', punky track.
Never dreamed like you before. Even knocking door to door. Yeah, I never dreamed like you before. Even knocking door to door. Oh, yeah, you got your loads of people choosing arms. Or to keep the song lasting long. Oh, murder movies make your day. Living in the USA. Crack the people on the edge. You got no heroes, got no bread.
This is a wonderful album. I've said that several times, but I think that people wanted Heartbeat City 2. and the Cars did not give it to him. There's probably too much of a space of time or span of time. I think it was 3 years since Heartbeat City. I think people were sort of losing interest. They maybe thought the Cars broke up because Rick had released a solo album, Ben had released a solo album, and it's just, I think that everybody needs to give that album another listen. I love the Cars. I hope that you enjoyed this episode of Reappraising the Cars, and I hope you come back for more episodes when I put them up. But there's lots of different shows that I have on my channel. Anything from Punk Shui to CD Junkie to This is Ski Lodge. So much going on. You never know what's going to come next. I love so much music that you're going to experience Neil Diamond and Neil Sedaka probably on the same day you're going to enjoy Coxbar and the Sex Pistols, or Led Zeppelin, or Bee Gees. I mean, I love it all. I love it all equally, and it's just amazing. Thank you so much. Remember to like, comment, share, subscribe. Ring that bell for future notifications. And until the next time, remember me. I'm Steve Schnee, the CD Junkie.
You are